Hi, Leo. Mae'n gymylog, mae'n tywyllu, mae'n 6 yn y nos, a mae'n oer gorffennaf yn 9. July the 9th, overcast, 6 o'clock. It's time for some Thomas Dolby again. I think I need to hear this. Got a dodgy stomach after eating some warmed up mushrooms, so I need to hear. Now this is interesting, you see. It says side 2, I live in a suitcase, but it's side 1 in the track listing, but in the lyric listing it's side 2. Now that's an interesting inconsistency. It says side 2, look there, it says side 2. It says side 2, and it's, I have to get that. Yeah, that's side 2, it's not side 2, it's side 1. Track 4 of the album Astro Nauts Heretics. Let's try and get this into operation. Better shut the door. Oh, basbach, blinder, apprehension, insecurity, but all will be well. Let's have a look at the lyrics first, shall we? And try and get this thing to operate on a more. Yes, that should work okay. Looks right. So here there are lyrics. Where's my overlight? My light. Does that work? So, I live in a suitcase. When all the lights go down, this dirty desert town is theatre in the round, with stars instead of a crowd. The illuminaries, of course. Explosions in water. I came here the hard way, and now I'm living in a suitcase. I remember when I was 19, I went to the Eisteddfod Genedlaethol in Surreal. I carried a suitcase, my dad's suitcase, a hard suitcase. I was like something out of 39 Steps, a long coat but no hat. I went to Surreal on my own and met a 17-year-old who told me her life in 5 minutes. I came here the hard way. Oh, sorry, that's not my. That's my story. You won't get that with FIFA. This is the Thomas Dolby song. Back to that now. And now I'm living in a suitcase. In a suitcase, I live in a suitcase marked Rome, marked Los Angeles. So I made a home here inside of me. Here inside me. When all that's to be said's been said, when all that's to be said's been said, what's keeping you in bed is a fear inside your head, the fear of being misled. The fear of being misled. You came here the hard way, and now you're living in a suitcase. And I came here the hard way, and now I'm living in a suitcase. In a suitcase, I live in a suitcase. I live in a suitcase. But oh, little ingenue. I haven't got a clue what that means. I need to know you. Will you be here too? Then I'll make my home here inside of you, and not in a suitcase. And not in a suitcase. This could have been me as a 19-year-old. They say travel broadens the mind, so I went over the falls in a barrel. I found the North Pole in a field of rice, not rice. I'd just like to categorically say that it was rice in the paddy fields. It was ice in the North Pole. Also, they say, and in a land of dreams, Randy Newman, I found you. I live in a suitcase 4 times. Don't want to live in a suitcase. I live in a suitcase. Don't want to live in a suitcase. I live in a suitcase. I'm living in a suitcase. So this song probably talks about roots and fundamentally the combination of a relationship and offspring, ideally. Well, it certainly was in my case. For 7 years. Good, let's hear the song. Oh, no power. Still no power. What a bass line that is. Oh, that's amazing, isn't it? That is absolutely amazing. I just want to... No, I've disappeared now. I don't want to do that. I want to do this. There we go. Where is it? There it is. It gives me the level so that this thing isn't distorted. I don't want it to be distorted, do I? I don't want it to be distorted. I wonder if that was on. Was it on when I plugged it in? Hopefully. Here we go. There's the Dolby synths that were missing in Silk Pajamas. Just creeped up on a person in the car behind her, or behind him, giving him or her a tremendous fright. The individual concerned was parked a lot on the road outside the gentleman's house, and he kind of crept up behind the car, not having been seen, and he laughed. In the meantime, Thomas Dolby has recorded a song which in its first 50 seconds is rather fantastic. It reminds me of Gary Newman, but listen to his voice. We're on 83% already. With stars instead of a crowd, I came here the hard way, and now I'm living in a suitcase. And I came here the hard way, and now I'm living in a suitcase. In a suitcase, I live in a suitcase. I live in a suitcase. Marked Rome, marked Los Angeles. So I made a home here inside me. Here inside me. How much of the mind, the human mind, my brain in here now, how much of my life is in there as opposed to out here? Look at this. These are the containers that I've used to store my food for dinner, and this is what's resulted in my rather unfortunate condition when disposing of the aforementioned food to the end. So the message of the story is, it's a great song, but don't reheat your mushrooms in plastic containers and then eat them.
I came here the hard way, and now I'm living in a suitcase, in a suitcase. I live in a suitcase. I live in a suitcase. But oh, little Angela, I need to know you will be here too. Then I'll make my home.
If you just listen to that Blue Nile piano, well, it wasn't a Blue Nile piano. It could have been, but it's superior to Blue Nile. Now that's a statement I would never have expected to say. I love the Blue Nile, but that piano and those grated guitars shredding away, sounding like labourers on a building site, they add a uneasy atmosphere to this. But the bass line, how can you possibly ignore the bass line? Let's give it a credit here. The bassist Terry Jackson, the late Terry Jackson, who passed away after this was recorded and before it was released. Rhythm guitar, Larry Treadwell. Thomas Dolby. Lead guitar, John E. Love. Vocals, piano, programs, Thomas Dolby. So rhythm guitar, Thomas Dolby's playing some. And there he is.
Here inside of you.
Oh, that piano there. That repeats now, but it's just so... It is Blue Nile-y. I'm very clever. It's very Blue Nile-y, but at a faster pace. If the Blue Nile played this one, they'd be exhausted. They wouldn't be able to survive.
Not in a suitcase. Not in a suitcase.
So, like the flat earth, here Thomas Dolby resonates his, I've used that word again, resonates his love for a person by describing it in a geographical context. And what a context it is, both musically and lyrically. Such a beautiful verse to find the North Pole in a field of rice, because that's indeed possibly I know it says ice, but we could be considering here the reality of it being in a vegetative environment. Stranger things have happened. Now then, does this tape, that resonates. Now what song is this one then? Is this... I don't know what's going on with this now. What song is this? Because on the tape, on the paper it says that I live in a suitcase. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is where we now see the edit, right? This gets even more contrary now because I've had to repair this cassette tape in order to get it to work because it broke in the garage around lockdown. So you heard it getting fuzzy. Right, I live in a suitcase where I give it 89%. I may not have looked as exuberant when listening to it. I was distracted by a text describing the need for a little roof on top of a Y, changing this to older in Welsh. Hyn a hyn. Hyn is this, hyn is older. So when you put the little roof on top of the Y, you get hyn. That's odd. Speaking English and saying a Welsh word. Hyn. What does it sound like in English? Hyn. Rhymes with ween. Rhymes with bean. Hyn. Anyway, I wonder now what. Let's hear what other track this is. Let's solve this mystery now before I go on a trip tomorrow.
Memories of things that never happened. These are always the hardest to forget.
What does he sound like here? He sounds like someone here. I'm not sure who. I'll tell you in a minute.
The old friends and the loved ones. These are the people happily been met. Looking forward into the old days. Looking back at what there's gonna be. There's no reality, it's just an illusion.
He sounds like David Byrne from Talking Heads. I wonder what this song's called. Is it a bonus song? Unlisted?
No real sanity, just plain confusion. Well, I don't know just how I feel. All I know is that I'm good. Surreal. Here we go. Always look the same from every angle and never cast a shadow that would change the way you felt about your baby.
cover version. Is it a B-side? It sounds something familiar. It could be, what's in it, Dead or Alive? It could be a Depeche Mode or Pet Shop Boys B-side. I have no idea. Please let me know.
Surreal, 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 surreal. Surreal, surreal, surreal. Oh, wow, right. I don't know just how I feel.
We have a tradition of whimsy here at Zero Toys. Dad began that tradition with Milton the Friendly Elephant, and it carries all the way through the new line.
There is no single circumstance. I never took a final chance. I made myself a thing that you could see and touch forever. Always looked the same from every angle and never cast a shadow that would change the way I thought about your very being. That what we were seeing would always be, would always be, would always be, would always be the truth. Well, I don't know just how I feel. All I know is that I love you. Surreal, surreal, surreal. All the seasons I have spoken, all the reasons I have rhymed. Well, the state I'm in essence, just imagine what is real. Simply there, no words were spoken. Just imagine what is real.
Right, it reminds me of Supernature by Surreal and the Pet Shop Boys, but not Depeche Mode, but the Pet Shop Boys definitely. So that sounds, it does sound like the tape's been recorded on a tape-to-tape machine in 1973 with me pretending to be Tony Blackburn. So I'm going to stop it there. I give that song is livelier than Silk Pyjamas, but not as original. So I'm going to give that 62%, and I'm giving the other one, I Live in a Suitcase, 80. It's gone down since then, 86%. So yes, it's, I don't know, the very fact that it's not on the cover, not listed, upsets me. I need those details to fully digest what I've just heard. It's good. It's very lively, isn't it? It's very lively. Very lively. And there's some fine Dolby Astro Nauts and Heretic synth on it. That sound has appeared 3 times on 3 out of 5 songs. So I like the atmosphere that generates, and I also like the change in tempo following on from the funk. We've got disco. So it's good. I think when we discuss Thomas Dolby's limited vocal range, we miss the point. I think it's all about textures, isn't it? And energy and lyrical content. But I'm missing out on the lyrical content here because it basically sounds like a love song, a B-side on a 70s disco compilation, which would be good, which is very good. I liked it. It's going up as I discuss. But there's something that's upset me that it's not listed. It makes it feel as if it's just an add-on, you know, that he's pumped out in 5 minutes to make the sides of the tape the same length. You know what I'm on about there? You know? Do you understand what I'm saying? Hopefully you do. So, on side 2, we're going to listen to Europa, the sequel to Europa and the Pirate Twins, which is called what's it called? It's called Eastern Bloc, sequel to Europa and the Pirate Twins, 1981. So this is 8 years later. We'll listen to that some other time. So there's the album, and it's a mysterious album. I can't remember it coming out. I can't remember. I can remember being excited that Eddie Van Halen played on Close But No Cigar. But I was ultimately disappointed with what I heard. But time has allowed me to digest it far more fairly. Okay, so we'll listen to side 2 next time. Diolch yn fawr am wrando. 28 minutes. We got 2 songs there, so I'll have to change the description. Well, no, I won't. I'll just write it in. But I wouldn't want this called. Was that song called Surreal? I'll put down Surreal. Good. Oh, Sylvester, You Make Me Feel Mighty Real. That was the other one. That reminded me of Supernature by Surreal. I can remember seeing the label on my sister's 7-inch disco songs. Cerrone, Cerrone. Was it on the Arista label or was it on the orange one, Polydor? I'm not sure. No, it was Atlantic. Tell me in the comments. Thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr. Great fun, although rather subdued for me, not from Thomas. Thomas was full of energy. Diolch.